Hi, everybody. How are you? I hope everyone's doing very well. I still have a little cough, but I'm feeling so much better. My voice is wobbly, but it's getting better too. So thank you guys for joining me. I can see who else doesn't have a social life besides me on this fine Friday night. It is snowing here in Colorado, which I am shocked by since we've had such a warm winter. Hi, Peace Love. Good to see you. Thank you for. Yes, I am feeling better. I don't always sound like I'm feeling better, but I do feel better. Light Brary, nice to see you. I don't know that I recognize your name. Thank you. I got your question. Daniel, Kelly, Bobelli, Banana, whoops, Banana, Fana, Fofelli. There we go. And Lori, good to see you. Pete, let's see. Got your question, Daniel. Got your question, Lightbrary. Nivra, hello. Let's see. And Mary Starshine and Gina Halleck. How are you guys? Good to see all you folks who are hunkering in on a Friday night. That's kind of typical for us, too. You reach an age. Let's see. You're in a tornado watch in northwest Missouri. Ooh, I'm sorry. Isn't it a weird time of year for tornadoes? I mean, the weather. Who knows? I've been talking about our non-winter all, for weeks. Joyful Journey, Marianne Proke. Not pop-up dowsing rods with JPEG. JPEG is sleeping in the other room in my bedroom. But I bet he'll make an appearance. Watcher, if we have time at the end, I'll ask your question, but we're going to do current events right now. Hi, Gray. Is it Gray Queso? QU5SO. I got your question too, Nivra. I saw it came through on the other side, the other channel. If we have time for those tonight, we'll ask. Oh, that's a good question. Peace, love, about Jim Carrey being cloned. I just kind of feel like he got some. We'll ask the rods, but I feel like he got some bad plastic surgery. That's my feeling, but who knows? Stranger things. I mean, this whole world is so chaotic. I suddenly believe all these like weird conspiracies that I probably wouldn't ordinarily believe. So, hi Fatima, good to see you. Okay, well, so as usual, well, first of all, if you're new here, thank you for coming. My name is Kelly S, the Mystic Next Door, and this is our Dowsing Rods show, and it's been a little while, and we have questions. What I do, I have a whole list of questions here that I've jotted down, and you can put your questions into. If you could please put, yes, mostly current events questions is what we're doing. It could be about war, it could be politics, it could be, weather, it could be whatever. So if you put your questions in, I'll try to spot them and star them. And I have a whole list of questions. What I'm going to do is just try to go through all of those, and then we'll go to your questions, if you don't mind, unless I spot something that's super relevant to what I'm asking. And the questions that I have obviously talk about the Iran war. That's not a war, but it's really a war. I have a lot of questions, and I don't know. My mind is spiraling out. I have, gosh, I just think nothing is what it seems. You're going to watch on the TV? Okay, don't look too close. I hope it's not too big of a screen. Oh, good question, Mary, about the price of oil. I starred you. So I have questions about the war. I have questions about a lot of questions related to that too, like this whole Armageddon thing that people are talking about. I have questions about my lovely husband submitted some questions about Nostradamus, and I had some questions about that too. So we can also talk about Bondi, who I think is going to testify next week. You know, will she be honest? That sort of thing. Yeah, peace, love. I know it's really weird. Gina says, "Well then, oh, okay, good. All right, Marianne. Oh, okay. We'll ask about Canada's trade deals. I know a lot of countries are uh, they're leaving their agreements with the U.S. and going elsewhere, and I don't blame them. Yeah, Mary Clem. That's a question that we might ask too. Like, will Congress finally? I know that they just had a vote the other day, but will they grow a pair? Will they grow a spine? Let's ask it that way. All right. Hi, Lily Cherry Blossom. That's cute. I like that name. And excuse me, Gina, I got your question too. I have a similar question, so I will add that at the appropriate time. Okay. All right. So I'll give you a little demonstration about how my dowsing rods work. They feel kind of like they need warming up. Little cherry blossom, we're doing current events questions, but I'll start in case we have time at the end. Yeah, Vietnam was an undeclared war. Wow. Conflict. I love how they say, oh, it's not a war, it's a conflict. It's a whatever. Like, that's what Putin said. 4 years later? Okay. All right, guys. So the way that the dowsing rods work, I'll give you a little demonstration. I'm going to try to bring the screen all the way down so you can see them very well. So they're right here. They're tubes. It's like a copper tube with the rods inside. And so I hold the tube, and you can see that they can sort of swing freely, right? Okay, demonstrate. Look, they're showing off for you. Okay. All right, so we'll ask them to please, we ask our guides and our angels to come in and protect us, and please bring us only the truth as it can be offered now. Okay, will you please show us a yes? A reluctant yes. Okay, a yes for us. Let's ask again. I'm going to say, will you please show us yes? That's a yes. Okay. Thank you. Told you they needed warming up. And would you please show us a no? That's my no. Yours are the same way, Mary? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, some people do all kinds of different things. All right. I haven't used them in a little while, so I'm excited. So I just have my arms kind of braced here and stationary, and we'll just let them go. All right. My first question, are there currently more U.S. casualties than just 6 soldiers? Whoa, a definitive yes, guys. Okay. Wow. Okay. Are you guys doing your dowsing rods at the same time? Curious if you get the same. Okay. Can we expect more U.S. casualties? Yes. Start to answer before I finish the question. Can we expect U.S. ships to be hit? That's my fear. I don't know if you saw the short that I put out the other day, but I'm really worried about that. I have a friend, I think I've told you this. I have a friend whose daughter is on a destroyer with that. Destroyers travel with the carriers, and that carrier, the Gerald Ford that's out there, they travel together because the destroyer protects them. And she's on that ship. So a young mom, she's a baby. She was supposed to get out last September. Anyway, we are going to send our prayers for their protection. Okay. Linda G said there are probably 1,000 Americans killed in this war. Excuse me. Look at this. They decided to agree with you before I even asked the question. Hi, Viviani. Say hello. Okay. So we can expect ships to be hit. Will China enter the fight? Yeah. I saw today in the news that they were willing and preparing to enter the fight. Damn. Okay. Will NATO have to engage? Yuck. Okay. Will this trigger a world war? It's a yes, but it's not as enthusiastic as the other ones. It is a yes, though. So we will see. Does that mean we'll see countries from around the world engage? Yes. Dang it. Yes, I have that question here, Mary. Thank you. Turkey was attacked and they are part of NATO. I know they didn't engage yet, as far I've heard they were in discussions. Will the US Okay, this is my feeling. Hi, Scott. My feeling is that this is only going to be a relatively short engagement. See my video the other day. I feel like there's going to be some event that causes us to, withdraw or disengage within the next couple months. So I'm going to ask those questions. Will the U.S. end their engagement abruptly in a few short months? I got yes. Let's see if that comes to pass. Hi, Crystal Blue. Oh, good question. Will there be some nuclear involvement in this? Look at this. What does this mean? Okay, see, this is sort of when it's pointing to, like, for me, that's like pointing to the angels or to guides or something. Do you see that? That's very unusual for me. Gina, I got your question too. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Great, Kay. So put the link in the comments after the live stream, okay? And hi, Gina Lynn. Good to see you. All right. Well, let's ask the question more clearly. Will some factions contemplate nuclear weapons? Yes. Will they be successfully deployed? Look, it's going to this side again. Okay. Are the guides and angels prepared to prevent a nuclear? Yes. Look at that. Oh, I just got a chill. That's very cool. Yeah, the aliens will knock it out. I kind of think, hi, John. When I say aliens and angels, and I think angels are alien. All of them are extraterrestrial. Let's be fair. Okay? So Nace says the U.S. will pull out early, but the war will rage on. That's what I believe, Crystal Blue. I believe the war will pull out because of some event. Okay. And then the war will continue. And it could be Trump's, something happens with Trump. Could be a very tragic event that, or maybe the military step in and say enough. I don't know. Hi Kathy, good to see you. All right, guys, let's carry on with these questions. If you have any, pop them up there. Put them in all caps for me. So we determined that they will attempt to use nuclear weapons, but they will not be successful. Okay. All right, Gina Lynn, I'll ask that question. Will we disengage from the war because 45 and his administration are removed? Yeah, it's kind of a sort of no. But I feel like you're on the right track, okay? Because I feel like we've got a whole lot of like internal chaos about to come forward with anything from Epstein to election fraud to like regime change here in the US. Okay. Okay, Mary, I got that question. I'll ask that in a little bit. All right. Okay. So let's ask the question. Let's ask some timing. I feel like I'm sideways here. There we go. Okay. Will the US be engaged for more than a month? Yes. Will the US be engaged for more than 2 months? That's a no, guys. Will something happen to cause an abrupt withdrawal? Will this be, so it says it wasn't because Trump's removed. I think we'll be in talks, and that's what I feel. I feel like it's going to start within the next month, kind of behind the scenes and then grow. Got your question, Fatima. Okay. All right. So let's see if we're correct. Right now, today, the course is less than 2 months. Will the war rage on in the Middle East? That's a yes. Will there be big economic impacts because of this? Yes. Okay. Will servicemen and women refuse? This might be a reason too. Will servicemen and women refuse orders? Look at that, guys. That's a yes. So I think we might start seeing a bit of a mutiny. And I do have questions about that, like those religious war Armageddon comments and things where people are lodging complaints and things like that. Yeah, I was going to ask something like that. I am Mary Clem. I have concerns about that too. If we withdraw from the war, will we get pulled back in? No. Crystal Blue. Okay. Think of any of the reasons that we might get. Okay. Is it because of the Epstein files that we withdraw? No. Is it because of leaks about election fraud that we... Oh, so that's a part of it. I don't feel like it's the whole picture. Will there be treason? the T word, treason, come up in the withdrawal. Okay, do you see it's bobbling back and forth, guys? That doesn't mean that's the reason why, but okay, will eventually treason be, some of our current leaders be called for treason? Yeah. Okay, so not right now, but there will be treason. There will be treason, what's the word? Allegations, accusations. Okay. Um, will there be US boots on the ground? Lots of talk about that. Yeah. But it's just a sort of a slight cross for me. So maybe a small, like not, a few units will be put in there or something, or a unit. Okay. Okay. Marianne said, hi. It says, happy Friday to John Scarborough. He's right in the hallway. Okay. Here's a question. Oh, okay. So Crystal Blue, is mutiny the cause of the withdrawal? Yeah. I could see that very, very well. And I think I said that the other day. I think that the military, there are a lot of military leaders in the background who are talking. And I had this like kind of precognitive dream-ish thing the other day about Hegseth and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. If you haven't seen that, go look at my short that I did Wednesday. And so, okay. All right. I'm calling you Gray Queso. If that's wrong, I just see queso. There's a 5 in the middle, though. I got your question. Okay. I'm babbling. Question. Will Hegseth be indicted and jailed for war crimes? Yeah, baby. See ya. Don't let the doors hit you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It will Iran or other countries drop any bombs on the U.S.? That could be another reason right there. Is this part of the reason that we pull out? It says no. Okay, 25th Amendment. Is the 25th Amendment part of the reason that we'll pull out of this? Daniel, there you go. Military, like Congress, military, I think that it's a combination of things. Okay, so that was a yes, that will happen. But will that happen to pull us out of this war? Let's ask that. Will that happen to withdraw us from the war? It's kind of a slight no. I don't know. It looks bigger to you guys. But will it eventually happen? Yes. It looks like this wasn't a very confident yes. Okay. So and I don't want to startle anybody, guys, but will there be attacks on US cities? We got a yes. Will they be in the northeast of the US? Yes. Will we have some tragedy? Yes. Oh. Okay. All right. Will we have subsequent terrorist attacks in the US as well? Dang it. Yeah, not good. Come out here to Colorado, guys. Although we're near, Cheyenne Mountain and all that stuff down in Colorado Springs. So, Yeah, I don't like that. I've just been having this ugh, yucky feeling about that. And um, let's ask this: Will we have warnings? Yes, that's good. So um, that's all I'm going to ask there. I don't really want to go. We're just going to send our prayers. Thank you, Crystal Blue. I got that question. Well, I'll just ask it now. Will China attack Taiwan as a part of this? I'm feeling so it took a bit and then it crossed. It's like eventually. So it's kind of like as a part of all the mayhem, they're just gonna jump in. Oh yeah, we need to ask some gnome questions. My feeling on Christy Gnome, and all right, I'm gonna move on to the next segment unless anybody has any other questions. And then I will get to your questions too. That I start. I think the reason, if you notice, Trump doesn't fire anybody. He moves them into some like sideline position because he wants to keep an eye on them. He wants to keep a thumb on them because they know too much. He's a mob boss. I think if he could make them swim with the fishes, he would, without getting noticed. But I think he keeps them. Keep your enemies close. What does it? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay. That's my feeling. But I think she's pissed. Yeah, he made a fake job for her in a fake organization, fake whatever organization. Okay, I wanted to ask about the religious stuff. Oh, that's a good question. I'll star that, Fatima, and we'll get back to that, okay? Do the U.S. military leaders really believe in that this is a holy war for Armageddon to make way for the second coming of Christ? Do military leaders? It doesn't like the way I've phrased that question. Okay, does Hegseth believe that this is making the way for the second coming? Yes. He's got that weird, like that giant cross that's associated with a lot of the far right groups on his chest. That's a good question, Kathy. Mega Mark. What's his name? Mark Wayne. Mark Wayne. Real classy. Okay. So he does believe this. Is this also related to the Zionist movement? Yes. So the far right Zionist movement is also implicated. All right. Okay. Will this war mark the beginning of Trump's demise, or has it? Whoa, quickly. Yes, it was just ready to go with that. That's a yes. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing fallout everywhere. I even saw a clip today of Nick Fuentes talking with Alex Jones, and they were really not happy. They've fallen off the Trump train. Yeah, telling military leaders anything was religious was illegal back in Craig's time. Okay. Yeah, and I'm sure. How do you think the Israeli fighters feel about fighting for the coming of Christ, right? Come on. I mean, really. Okay. Will this also mark the beginning of Netanyahu's downfall? Yeah. Might not even beginning. I feel like they're like, 1 foot in already. All right. Okay. So I've read that a lot of Putin is not receiving drones from. He was getting a lot of his drones from Iran before, but now they're using them. Um, will so are Putin's weapons being diverted to Iran's war efforts? Yes. Okay. Will this help Ukraine? Yes. Okay. Also, Donald Trump asked Ukraine for some help with drone warfare because we're spending way too much money. Drones are a lot cheaper than these massive missiles that are millions of dollars a piece. They're saying we're spending upwards of almost $1 billion a day. Okay. Any other way we could use that money? Maybe healthcare, feeding the poor? I don't know. Okay. Will should so the question is, should Ukraine help us? They're going to help us. It says yes. I was thinking will, and then I said should. Will they help us? Yes. Will they help us with conditions? Yes. So basically, if the US actually helps them, then they'll help us. Okay. Um, questions concerning any other questions concerning this like Armageddon talk? Let me ask this. Will military leaders, behind the scenes, will that be the reason that we pull out because of the Armageddon talk? There it is. It's part of it for sure. Okay. I have another question because there were reports that Polymarket, which is a betting website, you can sort of kind of place your bet over or under on whether something will happen. Polymarket betting platform showed a flurry of bets placed just before the first strike in Iran on that question. Will there be a strike? And so were bets placed by U.S. soldiers? Not really. Were the bets placed by Trump personnel? Yeah. By international folks around the world? It's weird. Sort of. Yeah. Okay. Our friend's here. Do you see his tail? JPEG is here. Okay. All right. Any other questions about that? Because I have some more. I want to ask about the why, because I know there's been a lot of speculation about why. And I see 26 people watching, so welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, you're new here, we're asking the Dowsing Rods questions about current events. Here's my friend, JPEG. Oh my gosh. Gray says, very high level military expert came on today and said, forget $1 billion per day. Could be more like $1 billion an hour. Holy crap. Wow. Oh, good question, Craig. I'll star that one and ask too. All right. Here he goes. I don't have to keep him on my propped on my arm. Okay. Thank you. All right. So my question is about the why, because everybody's speculating that, Trump, Netanyahu said, we're doing this now. And Trump said, yes, sir. It's kind of like he said, jump, and Trump said, how high? So I just have this feeling that we've been talking about this a while, that the Epstein matter is much larger than just a trafficking, child sex pedophilia ring. I feel like it has been a giant worldwide blackmail scheme. And so isn't he cute? I have to turn around so you can see him. Anyway, worldwide blackmail scheme. It's been going on for a very long time. And I believe that, if you read between the lines, you can see that many people are speculating that Epstein was an agent of Israel, right? And we talked about this maybe being kind of like a far right Zionist movement. This is not anti-Israel. But you also see that our government has been jumping through hoops to send money to Israel and to kind of placate Netanyahu for several years. And I've always wondered why. And now I think this is it. Okay. All right. So was Donald Trump blackmailed by Netanyahu into engagement? Whoa. Guys, that was fast. That was really fast. I don't have any more questions. Wow. Okay. That's a good question, Craig. I'll star that one about our munitions. That might be another reason why we have to pull out of the war, because economy tanks, munitions are gone. Okay. Hi, CJ. I got that question. Got your question too, Kathy. And Nivra said, I think so too, Kelly. I'm not sure which question you're responding to. John said, I knew it. Is DJT the head of the Epstein ring? Is he the head of the Epstein ring? I've seen things about that. A little bit? Okay. I don't think that he was, I think he was brought into it in the US. So was he, let's just ask this question again. Was he rounding up women or girls? There we go. Yeah. So he was a part of it. Yes. Okay. Was he the head, or did they work together? Yes, they worked together. Okay. Wow, that was quick too. Yeah, I think you're right. CJ, I think that I heard a really interesting podcast about this, and somebody who's like an expert in, double agents and being assets for other countries or for whoever. And he said that he called it the Epstein button. He said if the Epstein if Netanyahu comes and threatens to press the Epstein button, then Trump's going to respond in kind, because it's got all the goods. Okay. Yes, head of procurement, Kathy. That's a great way to put it. Head of procurement. You can finish your question, Daniel. I don't know what you're trying to ask. Okay, so that was just a quick. Now, oh, you said no. The heads are those you wouldn't know of. Yeah, that's right. I think the heads are. I think they're even above Netanyahu, and I mean, I think this is some kind of extremely covert. I can't remember the word yet. Oh, will Trump see jail time? I'm going to star that one, and I will ask that question. My instinct is no. Okay. All right. And so here are some questions about, and I'll get back to all your questions in just a second. This is about Nostradamus. Okay. And hold on a second. There we go. Nostradamus talked about the time of troubles, and it seems like it was right around now. And people are speculating that this is the time we're in. And it kind of makes sense. And so John was raising this question and some questions here, and I'm crediting him because he came up with these. But the first question I have is this the time of troubles? Yes. Yes. Okay. I can almost like feel Netanyahu, feel Nostradamus's energy, like here, kind of guiding this line of questioning. It's interesting. Like he's really happy we're asking this. Okay, are this so that he talked about something called the 7 months of hostilities. Are these the 7 months of hostilities? Okay. Yeah. Will the hostilities go longer than 7 months? And so it's weird because this one's kind of straight, but this one's over to the side. So it sort of feels like partly, like I think there will always be some things, but maybe the intensity will. Okay. And so he talked about the plague of bees in this time of troubles. And John asked this question: is the plague of bees? Are these the drones that we're seeing? The drone warfare? Yes, that's interesting. Okay. Now this is a weird question because Netanyahu, sorry, Nostradamus also said that that the Antichrist would arise from the Middle East. Yeah, John says, told ya. Would arise from the Middle East, and that he's a friendly and intelligent person, and that he kind of get a lot of people behind him, and a lot of allies and whatever. Okay, all right. So my question is Netanyahu the Antichrist? Is Netanyahu? Oh, that was a yes. That was a yes. He was not on my bingo card, I'll be honest with you. But Putin didn't really fit the description. And so I'm guessing that Nostradamus was describing the Antichrist as, or Netanyahu as the Antichrist, which kind of makes sense considering, if this is like some kind of, I don't know, religious war thing. All right. Okay. And I had a few more questions. Hi, Mr. Biggs. I hope you're having a great night. And I've got a few questions I'm going to star, and I'm going to go to your starred questions now. You said, okay, Kathy says no jail time for 45, but canner, yes. What's canner? Cabinet. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay, Kendra. All right, great. All right, I'm going to go to your questions. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to ask your question. And some of these questions I think I've already asked. So Lightbrary asks, I'm going to take the banner down too because it takes away space. Okay. All right. Will Cheeto be exiting stage left from his position in March? No. But see, it's not it looks really wide. For me, it's only about, I'm trying to figure out. It's like 10 degrees this way on both sides. Okay. Will he be exiting in April? Look, it's right tip at the tip. That's what I think too. Astrologically, I think that's going to be a really big explosive month. Sorry for the term. I think it's going to start. I don't think he's going to be gone then. So tell me what you guys think. All right. Was Iran really working on rebuilding their nuclear program? I have a thought on that too. Were they really working on rebuilding their nuclear program? It's like a kinda, kinda, 2 weeks out, 2 months out, right? So it's not the reason. That was just a big old lie. There and in fact, when they're asked about it, they don't have a straight story. So it's just an excuse. Oh, your bet. What was that? Your bet was on Trump Hitler? Oh, let me start some questions really quickly. CJ has one. Yes. You knew he was evil, Mary Clem. Yeah, the Antichrist is supposed to be beloved and charismatic, and I think he was in among his people and has been. But hopefully, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to start some questions. That would be good for your birthday, Kendra. June, July, maybe for Cheeto. I think so too. July. That's my feeling. Hi, Amanda. Sorry, my voice. Had to take out Jack. It's raining there. Yeah, we're having snow. Okay. All right. Finally having some snow. Very wet, heavy snow. All right. Library asks, is there over a 95% probability that Cheeto faces exits from his position? Oh, we already asked that question. Sorry, that's we've already kind of established that one. Watcher, I'm gonna pause that one and come back if we have time. And Niver too. All right, so let's ask the question about Jim Carrey. A lot of debate about Jim Carrey being cloned. Was he? Okay, so pictures have emerged. If you look it up, guys, you'll see he looks very odd. So was it just plastic surgery or was he actually cloned? Because some people are suggesting that he was calling out the big pedophilia ring for a while and maybe in trouble for doing so. Hence the change of appearance at the very least. Okay. Was Jim Carrey cloned? No. Is the Jim Carrey we've seen recently a lookalike? Is it a lookalike? What in the world? They don't want to answer. Okay. Was Jim Carrey? Did Jim Carrey get plastics? I'm gonna ask that other question again, but I'll come back to it. It was Jim Carrey. Did he get some plastic surgery? That's a no. Is the Jim Carrey we've seen a lookalike? Like it comes really close, but it doesn't answer. Is it a is are we not supposed to know this? Yes. Is Jim Carrey is he alive? Is he alive? Yes. Is he in hiding? No. Was it a makeup artist pretending to be Jim? That one was a yes. That's weird. Was this a stand-in for Jim? Yes. That's crazy. Okay. So it said he didn't have plastic surgery. Um, John says, "I knew this too. Maybe you're psychic, John." John used to be called his lookalike. That's funny. Called a lookalike on several occasions. There are people. Okay, I'm going to star a few questions really quickly. Kathy says, oh, hold on. Mr. Beeg says no one would have seen that and the Antichrist coming from God's chosen people. Yeah, but I think the Antichrist is just a term that because it appears that there are some satanic rituals and things like that coming out of the Epstein matter, and all is not what it seems. I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I believe what the kids are saying and what the letters are saying. And so Kathy's been getting the end of March, but it won't officially be told until April. More of a vegetative state in April. No JD as all heck breaks loose and stuff happens. Yeah. Somebody asked a question about JD, and we'll ask that in a moment. All right, so I'm not sure we've really fully gotten to the bottom of the Jim Carrey mystery, but I guess it could be a lookalike or somebody like that. That was the closest to yes we got. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to star a few questions. I don't think it's natural aging, John. His eyes are like much wider open, and I don't know. It's just different. People's eyes don't open wider when they get older. Gray says, Jim Carrey, no, alive and well. It's with the clip. Oh, okay. Send me the clip. Thank you. If you would you can email it to me, or if you can put a link to it in my, in the comments after, that'd be great. Okay. Sorry. Jim Carrey has had a spiritual awakening, and therefore we're seeing more of his higher self. Yeah, he is very spiritual, for sure. You're okay. Yes, he does do amazing things with his face. Yeah, but his eyes were like if you've seen his eyes recently, he has very, like many of us, like the lids are falling and things like that, and they were wide open. Okay, got that question, Nivra, and I got your question, Craig, and we're still doing Canada. I have your question in the queue. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Demonic forces. About who? Yeah. His eyes were a different color at the awards too. Yeah, that I saw that people were saying that too. All right. Enough about Jim Carrey. We'll eventually get to the bottom of it. He'll probably pop out and say, "Ha, that was my twin brother." I don't know. Okay, question. Will oil per barrel, this is Mary Starshine's question, will oil per barrel rise to 150? That's a big old yes. So guys, gas up, get your electric vehicles, all the other things. That means our heating oil and things like that, I think, are going to go up too. They've already gone up. Okay. Oh, I see. Sorry. This is Gina's question. Gina asks, will the draft be reinstated? Will the draft in the U.S. be reinstated? No. That's good. What was the question that you're saying oh no to? Oh, gas. Yes. RV mileage sucks. Yes. Yeah, there are speculations about going to, trying to get all the rest of the oil that we can. Because John was saying he saw that the Venezuela oil, we know, is that kind of dirty oil that takes a lot more refining. And that whatever kind of oil they get from the Middle East, in Iran, Iraq, anywhere in that region, is cleaner oil and can be mixed with the dirty oil. All right, Marianne, here we go. Here's our question our first question about Canada. Is Canada's Prime Minister Carney doing as well with the trade deals as it appears? That's a yes. I like Carney. I really do. I like his energy a lot. Okay. So if you have any follow-up to that, I don't know. Diesel has risen by 40 cents. Gas jumped up 20 cents a liter here in Alberta. That's like 80 cents a gallon for us. Yeah, I know. I mean, poor Europe. They've spent so much on oil. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to start some questions real quick before they fly by. This always happens. Everybody's juices get started, Yeah, Peace Love says, I think an interview somewhere says he'll never get plastic surgery. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about Jim Carrey again. Okay. All right. Will the war be over by September? So I'm going to ask the question for overall, for all of the military action. Will the war in the Middle East be over by September? Negative. Okay. Will the U.S.'s involvement in that war be over by September? Ooh, okay. Hold on. Weird. Okay. Will U.S. military be out of that war by then? Yes. Okay. I got something else. So they're kind of like, there's still going to be some backdoor support. All right. That's what I'm getting just intuitively. All right. Will the economy be hit hard by this war? Yes. Let's start with US and Canada. Will US and Canada's economies, I didn't even have to wait for my question. That was a big yes. Will Europe's economy be affected by this war? That's even a bigger yes. It's like parallel. Okay. So will our economies be affected for more than 6 months? Well, it was like winding up to give a big yes. Will the economies be affected for more than a year? A smaller yes. Okay. Oh, I just want to say too, I just saw a text go out in my family. Today's my son's 28th birthday. He's my baby. Chris's birthday. He's having a beautiful dinner with his girlfriend and going out with friends. Okay. All right. Okay. What is this? My husband's waxing philosophic. Okay. All right. You know, when your baby turns 28, it's weird. All right. He's having a dinner at like I think it's a Michelin star, like 1 or 2 star Thai restaurant. And he took us there when we went. It was so good. So good. Okay. A little cherry blossom. I'm going to come back to your question. Okay. This is from Gina. Thank you, Gina. Oh, thank you for the happy birthdays. Will there be a blue wave for the midterms? That is a yes. Will there be lots of Republican shenanigans? A bigger yes. Yes. In the end, will the Democrats be seated? Yes. Okay. That makes me happy because we need some people we need checks and balances. Oh, did I say girlfriend? Oh, fiance. Yes. That's right. Our son Chris is engaged. They picked a beautiful, very expensive place outside of Philadelphia to have their wedding ceremony. Oh, early happy birthday to all you folks out there. All right, John. Be nice. People with spines. Thank you, Nivra. Not just checks and balances. Yeah. Okay. We have some more questions. We have questions. Mary Starshine. Will the son of the former Shah of Iran become their new leader? Okay. Will the son of the former Shah become their new leader? See, it's sort of more no, but it's like yet to be determined. I saw him. He seems really smart. He lives in the US, I think, or France or someplace. Okay. So that's, there is no answer yet to be seen. Will the son of the Shah seek revenge? Oh, for his father? Will the son of the Shah seek revenge for his father? No. He actually seems like a pretty nice person. Yes, Mr. Biggs. Okay, you guys are talking about things. Okay. I want to know, will the son of the Ayatollah become their new leader? Oh, because he has a son as well. That was a yes, guys. Will the son of the Ayatollah remain their leader? Oh my gosh, guys. That went straight into a yes too. Will we see this leadership change in the next 2 years? Yes. So that really wasn't a very good. I didn't like the way they answered that, but that was a yes. So it will change. Oh, I know. Will there be an Iranian revolution in the next 2 years? There you go. That's what's happening. Okay. So, yeah. Gray, my email is, you can send it to kelly@kellyhealing.com. If that doesn't work, I can give you another one. Oh, good night. Okay, no worries. Will the new regime with the son of the Ayatollah be better for the people? It's a slight no, so it's kind of like, not really. Will a future revolution put a leader who's more just in? Yes. I wonder, that's a good question too, Kendra. I have other questions still starred too, so don't worry. Excuse me. Will North Korea get involved? Excuse me. It's kind of like a maybe. Okay, going back to the questions. I'm sorry about that. Mary Clem asks about someone predicting a bomb landing in Pennsylvania or the New Jersey area. Will there be a bomb in the Pennsylvania area? Maybe? Close? Will there be a bomb in the New Jersey area? Close? Will there be a bomb in New York? That was, again, okay, so we got that. That's more of a yes. It's a slight yes, though, so I don't know. Sorry, I don't like that. Okay. I kind of feel like, I don't know. Sorry about that. I feel like there will be big flooding there. Excuse me. Here we go. All right, Mark Carney's set off big ripples over prematurely backing Trump's Iran action. Journos and political experts working overtime to analyze the lapse during his dense overseas travels. Will they continue? So will he continue to back Trump's action? There we go. It's like close. I don't think it's gonna be in sending physical, like troops or anything. I think it's gonna be more like words. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take those personal questions later if my voice holds out. Salam. Okay. Will China attack Taiwan as part of this? We already answered that. So this is a good question, guys. Noam. I have questions too. Yeah. How does Noam feel? Is Noam bent out of shape that Trump has done her dirty? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, she is. Will Noam eventually spill the beans on Trump? I'd say yes. Yeah, because I'm sure Trump did tell her to go ahead and, they gave her so much money with the Department of Homeland Security for all the deportations that she just couldn't find enough ways to spend the money with the big jet and all the other things. So, yeah, I bet she's smarting from that too. She was done dirty. Carney has already backed up on his initial comments. Okay. Yeah. All right. I've heard the same from Keir Starmer in the UK. All right. Was Vance against this war? He was against the war. I heard that he said that, but then when they said they were going to go, he said, "Okay, well, we're going to go big or go home," kind of thing. Vance, goes any way the wind blows. Honestly, if he thinks it's advantageous for him, I just gotta chill. When I said that, Vance is just a big. I have a word for him that I'm not going to use. Okay. Yeah, Mary Clem says she would not mess with someone who can also kill a puppy. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Cash might be next because these guys they just got a little too big for their britches, didn't they? They're just flagrantly spending money and Trump doesn't like anything that makes him look bad. Okay. Will MAGA Mark Wayne, whatever his name is, Mark Wayne Mullen, will he be confirmed as the next DHS secretary? Will Mark Wayne Mullen? That said no, guys. I kind of feel like the Congress is going to start to feel the pinch because they know they got midterms coming, and I think they're gonna because he has to be confirmed in Congress. I saw someone else say that if the draft returns, Trump might offer citizenship to people if they offer to join. I mean, a lot of Latinos did join, and it didn't seem to matter to them. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm starting some questions. Yes, Mr. Biggs. Cash looked like a 16-year-old, like a frat bro, drinking beer with the hockey team. Yes, CJ. Lindsey Graham is Vance is the Lindsey Graham of vice president. Okay. Good question. Did Jared Kushner spy and sell out Iran? No. But I think Jared Kushner he's measuring for drapes in Gaza, right? To build hotels, the Mediterranean Riviera. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that either. Just seeing the head of the FBI pounding beers in the locker room. The head of the FBI is supposed to have a very scrupulously logical mind, right? I'm sure John's father, my husband's father, was an FBI agent, and I'm sure he's rolling over in his grave. Not only is it a problem that the optics are bad, but also it makes him compromisable, right? So that's the problem with all of them. That's why Trump put all these people in, because they are compromisable. They're compromised just like he is. So, okay. Next. Yeah, I want to ask this question. Craig asked about using up our munitions. Is the U.S. using up its munitions faster than it expected? Big, fat. I mean, look, it's going to put an eye out if it could. All right. Nothing to protect ourselves. This could be another reason why we have to pull out. Well, we need to pull out of this because our munitions are depleted. That's not the reason. But I think it's a reason that it's going to alarm our military, like the sane military leaders who are embedded in there. Good question, CJ Chand. Did Kristi Noem's husband continue the line of questioning about what's his name? Lewandowski. I can't remember his name. Lewandowski, after the congressional hearing. I want to ask, did Kristi Noem's husband already know the rumors about her and Lewandowski? Was he, does Kristi Noem's, I think he already has his own side piece. I think this is an arrangement. Did Kristi Noem and her husband have this little agreement to go their own way with relationships? Yeah. He knew. Yes, my John's father worked for J. Edgar Hoover. He hated when we suggested that, the suggestion that there are rumors that J. Edgar Hoover liked little boys and cross dressing and things. He was offended by that. Yeah, Just Visiting says the fact that Orange said that our stockpiles are great tells you they're terrible. Isn't that correct? Right? Hi, Ness. Thanks. Oh, I appreciate it. Okay. See you soon. But Ness has some questions here. So before you drop, I'm going to say, did we start this whole conflict because something urgent happened with Trump's health? I already asked this line of questioning, but it might be part of it. I feel like it's a multi-answer. Okay. Did Trump jump in because of health matters? Look at that. Wobble, wobble. That's like a maybe. Yeah. What we got, Ness, if you were here earlier, it has to do with compromise by the Epstein compromise that Netanyahu has. Okay. Because he's running the show there. That was all an Israeli operation, I believe. Soon we'll get down to gravity bombs. Oh gosh, that's like World War II, right? Says Craig. Okay. Or did Bibi jump in and start the conflict because Trump's health timeline ending soon? Did Bibi jump in and start the timeline because of Trump's health timeline ending soon? No, but as I was reading your question, I got the impression that it's because he knows Trump's control over the country is coming to an end. That's what I'm thinking, because they see the writing on the wall with all of that. But he coerced him. I think what we got was that he coerced him. Okay. Another good question. Will MAGA jump ship from T over Iranian war? Already is. They already are. Yes, they already are. Was the Hillary deposition released? Yeah, all UK media is talking about is Bibi as something on the USA. That's what I'm saying. He is so compromised, and we all thought that Putin has the goods. I think, he might too, but I think it's Bibi. Bibi's like, you're doing this now, or all the Epstein stuff is coming out. Bibi's been, after Iran for a long time. Oh, are you writing a book, Ness? That's exciting. Okay. They all have timers. Oh my God, that's really brutal. Oh, the depositions were released. Okay. Parts have been released. I'll have to look at that. All right, back to the questions. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here. Is the proposed policy not to honor the returning soldiers who gave all part of the cover-up to hide lost numbers? Wow. So the fallen soldiers. Yeah, because they didn't. Yeah, okay. Are they trying to hide the lost numbers by not honoring the fallen soldiers? Sorry. I have to do that. Sorry. I knew it would come up. I have to do that again. Is it because of, well, yes, but it's part. was wondering when my voice was going to start to go. That's an interesting idea, though, Kathy. Wow. Well, we already asked this. He's not the head, but I think he's the head of somebody said head of procurement, and that makes sense. Trump went against Putin to align with Netanyahu. Excuse me. I've heard Putin's kind of done, but he's backed into a corner now because his munitions are drying up because he's not getting that from Iran anymore. All right, Daniel, will 45 see jail time? I went right out. No. I think he's going to escape. I don't think he's healthy, but I think he's going to escape before he, kicks the bucket. If I was sitting in the Nome hearing the other day, I would have coughed cuckold while stifling a... Yeah. That's kind of like... I forget his name. The guy who was the Capitol Police Officer, Fanone. That's what Fanone did when one of the guys was suggesting somebody was being was testifying, and he was saying all kinds of rude things about the Capitol Police. Will things change? Okay, let that be the last cough. Probably won't. All right, will things change for the better after the troubles pass? Will things change for the better? Yes. Will they be better by 2027? Kind of a no. Will we be in transition at that time? Yes, this country will be in transition. Will things be better in 2028? And there's a yes. Will they be really better? I mean, will they be like totally back on track? Whatever that means. Will we be much better by 2030? Yes. I know I skipped a year, but excuse me. Just Visiting says, I heard the UK is reporting over 1,000 US troops killed. Yeah, go back to the beginning because it said there were more than what's being reported. Enchiladas are good. You're making me hungry. More casualties than admitted. Okay. All right, CJ. Since Senator Daines will not run again, do Democrats have a chance in Montana? Do the Democrats have a chance in Montana? That's a slight yes. You see they're just crossing at the tip? That's where John Tester came from. He was a Democrat. Yeah, Mr. Beeks, I think Trump used Mar-a-Lago as recruiting grounds and as bogus modeling agencies and all the other garbage. Yeah. I think he was more than just a patron. Let's put it that way. Is the Antichrist more than one person? No. Oops. I hit something. That was a no. So it is one person. Did I ask? I guess I did. Is Netanyahu the Antichrist? Yeah. It's saying yes. It does feel like we have more than one Antichrist out there roaming around, creating havoc. I don't know. I kind of always felt like the Antichrist was somebody kind of behind the scenes pulling strings, but I sort of think that they're doing that too. All right. Will Democrats in Texas come together to get Tallarico sworn in to the Senate? Will Tallarico be sworn in to the Senate? Hey, that's a pretty strong yes. Yes. Hi, Annie Bear. Say hi to Annie Bear. Thanks for coming. We're getting down to the bottom here. Lots of good questions. Yes, CJ, somebody should monitor Dover Air Force Base because that's where casualties arrive. Yeah. I bet they would. I wouldn't be surprised if they divert them just so that, or hold them overseas somewhere, which is horrible because they don't want people to know. And I think that's part of why people like start to lose it, because a lot of lives are lost. Okay. I'm just starring a few questions. Thank you, Annie Bear. Okay. Got a few more questions. Let's go. Daniel. Danny, Bobani. I'm just giving it back to you. Okay. Will this Armageddon play out as outlined in Revelation? Will Armageddon play out as in the book of Revelation? This Armageddon? Okay. Will this military style Armageddon play out in? It really doesn't want to answer. Look at this. I'm going to say that's not a no, and it's not a yes. Take what you will of that. I've heard that, Denise. Put Vicks on the bottom of your feet and chest and neck. Alka-Seltzer nighttime. I don't have that. No. You know what? I actually mostly am not coughing anymore, but when a little tickle hits, it gets me. And I think a lot of it has to do with allergies. And I'm at the end of my 24-hour allergy pill now. I mean, it's like I had a cold, but allergies are here now, and it's all this drainage. All right. But thank you. I really want to try the Vicks on my feet thing. I've heard that. Are there bodies on the ranch in New Mexico? Are there bodies in the ground in the ranch in New Mexico? That's a big yes. Okay. Have they already started moving the bodies? Yes. Will they find more? Yes. It's sickening. Yes, Mona Lee. That's what I'm going to try that. I don't know where my Vicks is. I'll have to find my little bottle of Vicks. Was Trump propped up by an evil energy like black magic? Let's ask. Is Trump propped up by black magic? Oh my gosh. I thought I was going to say no. There's a yes. Was Trump meant to play the villain in this life? Yes. I'm also hearing that he didn't need to. He took it a little too far. Like he played the role well. Thank you, Annie Bear. I know the dowsing rods are so much fun. All right. Excuse me. We already did that one. Did we go to Venezuela for oil because this was all planned along with Iran? That's a good question, too. Like, was it going to be a 1-2 thing? Did we go to Venezuela for oil because this was planned along with Iran? All right. They're being silly. It's kind of a no. So it's sort of like, a yes, no. It's like a no, but it's waggling. So, sort of no. Um, did Is there another reason we went for the Venezuelan oil? Yes. Is it strictly for the oil? No. I almost feel like it was kind of like a a warm up. I think Hegseth, soldier boy, has been dying. Oh, cough drops in tea. Thank you. Yeah, I had some tea earlier. The mullein tea is really good for mucus. Um, Kind of feel like Hegseth's just been chomping at the bit to kill something. And here he goes. You know, he got his chance. I don't have eucalyptus essential oil, or do I? I might have it. Okay. Is it for dominance over China? Oh, is it for dominance over China? Well, there you go. I just got a ringing in my ear too. That's interesting. Thank you, Dan. Are you going Betty bye now? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I just have a few more questions. Let's see if we can power through these guys. And we did this one. Will MAGA jump ship? We talked about that a little bit because we're already starting to see, of course, everybody sees Marjorie Taylor Greene, but we've also seen the Nick Fuentes and the, what do you call them? Alex Jones, whatever. Oh, okay. Kash Patel. Okay. Yes, that's one of my questions. Oh, I don't know why I didn't ask that one. I did. No, I thought I asked about. No, I didn't. About Hegseth and war crimes, because I think he's gonna have another thing coming. Sorry, it's not letting me start. Okay, is Cash is trash next to be fired? Will Cash be fired next on the? That's a wimpy yes. Whew. I just have a real quick question too. Does Marco believe in all this stuff? Not really. Is Marco being manipulated into? Yep, I've asked that before. The cough, she is a coming. Let me take another sip. Okay. How does J. Edgar Hoover feel about Trump? Excuse me. I think J. Edgar Hoover was into some pretty weird stuff. Maybe even some of the SA with children, but the pedo stuff. However, I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting intuitively. I'm seeing kind of like this kind of thing. Like he doesn't like his country being, I think he believed in his country. He loved his country. He doesn't like his agency and his country being trash like this. Ooh, he really doesn't like cash. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah, John says his dad John's, Special Agent Scarborough is rolling in his grave. That was his dad. Did I miss a question? Oh yeah, Mary was supplying oil. All right, I got your question too. All right. Excuse me. Kendra. Okay, no, I did not see it yet, but thank you for letting me know. I think they like to release those things like on a Sunday night or Friday night when they think nobody's watching. Mona Lee, will Dem primary winner in Texas view? Wait a minute. Yeah, we already answered that one. Annie Bear, is Saudi paying 45 to jump into war? I'll ask that question. I'm sorry. But we got a different thing, but is Saudi paying 45 to enter the war? No. Is Saudi also in possession of some of the compromat? Yes. It's all about compromat, Annie Bear. So we got that Israel has all the compromised information on 45. Will Trump ever be poor money-wise? I'm hearing no. I think he's stashed away enough money right in the last year to, run a small country for 100 years. Okay, CJ. Will Hexeth get turned over? I like to call him Hog's Breath or Cake's Breath. Will Pete get turned over for war crimes? Will Pete face criminal charges for war crimes? It was a slow yes. It's kind of like eventually. Will it be this year? No. Will he face war crimes charges next year? Yes. I actually feel like it might be at the very end of this year. It's just going to be a little while. I think there's going to be so much going on we don't even know which way to look. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. I like her. Yes, Mr. Biggs. And it's been a very dry winter here. We have dry, and I have some mild asthma and allergies, and allergies are terrible because we've had so little moisture. Okay. Michelle Lujan ordered the police to search the Zorro Ranch. Will they find anything? Okay. I think we already got a yes. Yeah, there we go. All right. And I got your question, Crystal Blue. Okay. All this to distract from the world from a pedo ring. Not going to work. It's coming. I think that's kind of why, Netanyahu said he pulled the trigger then. Because I think he knows that Mr. T is starting to circle the drain as far as his support. So he wanted to get this done. This has been his dream for, 30 years, 40 years. I don't know. Maybe like 30. Yeah. My son was a little baby when he was in the first time. Okay. Will Iran cyber attack the U.S.? That's a no. Interesting. That's a no. Okay. So any other questions for us? I might have to forego some of those personal questions because of my cough, but Niver says, I don't think we'll ever know everything. I know. I don't think we will either, but I think we'll know enough to learn some lessons. CJ, knew Russia had compromise on 45. Look into Like a lot of people who are specialists, who are like CIA intelligence or former CIA intelligence, are saying they believe it's actually Israel. That, Israeli intelligence, Mossad, any of those groups, very, very. Will Israel disappear as a country before 2030? No. Will Netanyahu go away before then? Yes. Okay. And last question I see here. Next question. Will Noam ever find a legit job after Trump is gone? Oh, she's going to be a spokeswoman for something. I don't know. Some, neocon, not neocon, some like alt-right group. Will Noam ever find work after Trump is gone? Oh, I just got something. It said no. Um, will Noam face prison for some of the treatment in DHS? Yes. So Noam is going to be up on charges. Will she do prison time? Look at that. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Will China or another ally cyber attack the US? That's a yes, but see how small it is? What I think that means is that they're always doing it. I think it's constant. Okay. I mean, are the streets. I don't know what you mean. Oh. I think I know what you mean. All right. She so deserves it. Can I ask one more question? Bondi is supposedly going to do closed door testimony. Check me if I'm wrong. With the Intel group or whatever that group is in Congress. Will Bondi, and this is closed door, which is interesting because she might not tell the truth in a televised hearing because she's performing for Trump. Will she be truthful in the behind the scenes hearing? No, not really. Here's Oversight Committee. Thank you, Nivra. I think the Bondi family was involved. I've said this all along. She and her brother and her family grew up in Florida. I think she might have even been trafficked, turned asset. I don't know. My phone's blowing up. Will our GPS system be attacked? Will our GPS systems be attacked? Again, look how they're just going wild, right? I feel like that's just saying they're kind of always trying, right? I just want to ask, are we going to put counter cyber security folks, I know I'm not saying it the right way, back into the federal government? Yes. I think it'll happen next year. Will we ever stop sending money to Israel? And Nivra, that's why I started to think, like, I couldn't understand why for all these years we've been sending money to Israel. Why? And I think it's because not just Trump, but many of our government officials are compromised. Yeah, they have compromised. Thank you, Kathy. Bingo on Bondi. Okay, will we ever stop sending money to Israel? A slow walk to a yes. Eventually. Oh, there's a good question, Daniel. Will solar flares mess up our satellites? Will solar flares mess up our satellites? There's an eventual, again, I got that same thing. I hate almost being right. Okay. Will there be shortages as a result of war? Shortages of like food and supplies and things? Will we see shortages in, I'm going to say in the US or in North America? How about that? As a result of the war? And will there be shortages on goods as a result of the war? Indeed, there will. Oh, what did, yeah. You know, I'm just looking back at Niver's question again. It sucks so bad that, you know, we Americans pay so much money into our, you know, our, not as much as Europe, but we pay into taxes and then we have very little control over where they go because our legislature is so bought and paid for, right? Or compromised. All right. Food shortages. Yeah. I think there might, I'm going to say though, for the food shortages, I don't think it'll be like, it feels to me, and it's weird because I predicted this last year. I was like, I keep feeling March, April, and whatever about some things going crazy. I think I was picking up this March, not last March. I mean, it was kind of nuts then, but it's really cuckoo now. I don't think it'll be like we're not going to have anything to eat, but I think it's going to be like you might not be able to find your favorite box of whatever or can of whatever. What is this question? U.S. treaty type agreement to support agreement. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's probably why we're kind of obligated, but come on. Yeah, and then they use the money to obliterate Gaza and Palestinians. And will the Republican senator who broke a Marine's hand pay for it? Was it a senator? Will the Republican senator who broke a Marine's hand pay for it? Yeah, I feel like he's going to be sued and I don't think he's going to be removed. I think he's going to have to pay somehow. Okay. I hate to say that, but I think KKK Caroline is tied up, but not as deep as Bondi. Do you get the same? You know, I hadn't even thought about her. Let's ask. Is KK Caroline also involved in the, you know, it's giving me no. Is Caroline just a true believer in the whole? Yes. She used to work for the Federalist Society, I think. Okay. Food storage related to certain stuff because of supply chain and fuel. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying it better than I can, CJ. And the military industrial complex. Yes. And I don't like that our money's going to DHS to do these atrocities. Will Talarico? Oh, we already got a yes on that one. Okay. Anybody? Any last questions? Really quickly going, and now we gotta run. I'm sorry, we're not doing the personals, but I'll be on tomorrow morning. If anybody was waiting for a personal question, come back tomorrow morning. Is Hitler still one of Trump's guides? I don't know if he was, but I'm not even going to answer that one because whatever. Shitler, right? That's Trump. Will food prices increase in all countries of the world? That's a good question, Sweet Fairyish. Thank you. Will food prices increase around the world? Why is it doing this? Okay, will food prices increase in some parts of the world? Okay. I mean, it's kind of funny. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you're new here, pop into the chat next time and say howdy. Please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I'm going to take this down really quickly. And I am available for readings. So you can go to my website at just kellyhealing.com. Just Kelly with a Y. And I'm available for readings with healing and with mediumship and psychic work. And John says he loves me. How sweet. Thank you all for coming. Everybody have a beautiful weekend. I will be on for personal questions tomorrow morning. We missed it last week, so I look forward to seeing everybody here tomorrow. All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.